it's me, Tess. Welcome back if you're returning, and welcome if this is one of your first videos. Um, I'm going to dive in. I do have more than usual to show. That doesn't mean it's going to be a long video because I still have primarily been working on just the one whip. I will show you the second whip I started. Spoiler alert, it's even less impressive than autumn last week. So I started Celtic Easter. It is only one strand of floss. One, because I was doubting the colour. Like, it's a olive green, which I wasn't expecting, and I couldn't really get a good photo online to show me. Two, because I spent Ash Wednesday sleeping, as you do. Turns out it is right, so I will keep going eventually. Obviously there is no crinkle crinkle. There is no lavender and lace Celtic Easter lady, but I am doing autumn's official colours as the Easter colours to me, the purple and gold that's Lent. So yeah, and I don't need to not draft, I don't need to create any of the letters because all letters in the word Easter are found on the other charts. So yay. The only thing I do have to do with my ladies, other than finish a couple of the conversions, I've decided to make their face and their hair identical, so it's going to be the same lady in 6 different dresses. So I've got to have a look at the faces and decide which one I want to be front and center. I won't quite show you haystack yet. I will go over a couple of purchases. Not too many because not yet. Picked this up off a buy sell, not buy sell and swap, like a stash unload page for Michael Powell. I bought the entire magazine for Michael Powell. I did also buy one online. Probably should have had that ready, but I've only just occurred to me. One of the ladies at the cross stitch gathering had this magazine and one of the charts in it, loved it, so I needed to look for it. It was The World of Cross Stitching. It's the February magazine, and this is the chart I bought it for. Black work with purple butterflies, and it is gorgeous. So luckily I could just purchase the one magazine. I didn't have to buy a subscription, so I did that. Bought it digitally because I prefer working digitally. That's just who I am. Also on the stash unload, I bought Stargazer. I have been looking at her for a while, and I just broke down because she was on stash unload. She's just beautiful. There was I was going to put her onto Fabric by Tammy, Colour Cascades, because if you've spent any time here, you know I am obsessed with her fabric. But in one of the groups I'm in, or mirror on the wall, I took a screenshot of this. Carrie showed that she bought this fabric, and it's really not doing it justice because obviously I'm showing you a photo. Anyway, this fabric is just perfection for this chart. So it is Night Sky by Stitchery Express. So that's what I'm going to get for her instead. I've contacted, I think it was Carrie, who runs Stitchery Express. She hasn't sent me an invoice yet, so I don't know how much it will be. Cindy, not Carrie, sorry. Carrie is the one that showed it. Don't know how much it will be. I don't know when I'm going to get it, but another mirror because I'm now apparently obsessed. Last purchase that I have here, because I have made some purchases from Tammy that have not yet arrived, and I don't know when they will, but whatever. That's one thing about Tammy. Absolutely beautiful products, but they do take their time getting here, which again, have no issue with. I purchased the Most Sale Mystery for March. I mentioned it a couple of videos ago, teamed up with Connie G, and it arrived. And if the Postage Fairy watches my video, thank you so much. Like, it made my day to get the invoice from Mo and find out that my postage had been paid for. So, oh my god, thank you so much. So this is what came in the, sorry, I only just smelt it. Not bad. This is what came in the kit. The chart was emailed by PDF. It's going to look stunning. And I'm actually really excited because these are not colours that I would normally gravitate towards. If you've seen any of my videos, or like really anything, I'm obsessed with purple, and I find it really hard to move away from that even when I want to. So I'm really excited because these colours are just gorgeous. Like a really light blue with green aqua. Gorgeous. I'm not sure, I haven't actually had a chance to look at the chart. I'm not sure if it calls for beads or whether we're supposed to put them randomly or whether they're just a bonus. Because looking at them, like, again, the colour's really off. It's 9:30, my usual recording time, apparently. To me, I wouldn't pair them with this, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they can't be paired with it. Has anyone had experience with Most Sales mystery packs before? Does anyone know? Anyway, gorgeous, absolutely in love. One more thing before I get to pretty much my only whip. I'm like 80% sure that I'm going to participate in Mania now. I've spent the last week making plans. So here are my list of starts. If I go ahead with it, yes, there are 31. I did 31 starts last year. If I participate this year, I just don't think I could do any less. As well as the chart, I've also got down here what needs to be done to have them ready. Maybe 80% sure. Like, I really want to do Mania. It was stressful but fun. Don't know. I'll start working towards it and see how I am come May, whether I actually go through with it or not. I do want to focus a bit more on my organising and not just my stitching, because again, like, while I'm stitching one project, it really doesn't matter what state my floss is in. But if I do Mania or if I want to start new projects, it's a mess. So I was thinking I'll sort of not set up fully, but have the basic building blocks ready and then maybe do like 1 page a day, which I think is fully achievable without taking away from my stitching time or feeling like it's taking away from my stitching time. Anywho, getting into it, I had my first fatality, my Q-snap. I had this bit break. It snapped. So I noticed that it was starting to get loose, and then as I put it on, after I noticed, it snapped. Thankfully, I've, made up my own size, so I did have a spare piece, but because I'm me and I'm now panicking, I'm probably going to order some more because I used to always stitch in hand, but now I can't imagine stitching without my Q-snap. It's amazing. I have started stitching with it slightly differently. Saying a lot, I'm sorry. Debbie mentioned at one of the gatherings, I think it was, using it like stitching in the well. I'd never heard of it being done with a Q-snap, always heard of it with the embroidery hoop. I always thought it was sort of a cleanliness thing to keep your hand oils off your piece. But she mentioned like when it's on the back, you're not dodging the edges if you've got a weave under. There's my back. I'm not ashamed to show you. But I've also found, yes, that is a bonus, but the sharp, dangerous bit of the Q-snap is actually gripping onto the back of the work and no longer gripping the front. So it's not sort of at a risk of pulling my stitches. So I really like that. I'm finding that my gridding is getting in the way a lot more using this method, but Debbie's amazing, and I don't know whether she was teaching me how to make a cover, like grime guard, whether she's making me one. I was made some from another lovely member of Canberra Cross Stitching Group, but it's just far too wide and I couldn't get it to work. So that will hopefully help to keep the excess fabric and gridding out of the way, but that's the only complaint I have with the new method. I will show you my whip. I don't know. I don't want to feel or seem like I'm complaining. I may have done a lot. It's hard to see when I'm working on nothing but this, so progress doesn't really mean anything to me. I feel like I've slowed down. And I know I've done a massive block today because I was at the dance studio from 12 until 7. I was at the dance studio for 7 hours and I only had to help out for like 2 of those hours. So I got a solid 5 hours stitching in today. So it does look like I've done a lot today, but it's been slow going and it's been slightly frustrating. Not entirely, but slightly. So I'm going to show you. I'm close to a finish with my, what are we up to now? 4th colour? 5? 4, 5. 4th colour, I think. I've lost count, but I'm pretty sure it's the 4th colour. So I've just got the block down here and then just along the last couple of rows. Yeah, as I said, like I got this massive chunk done today, so it looks like I've achieved a lot, but it's slow. And the reason, and it's stupid, I use an iPad, which you would think you can zoom in. I don't. Okay, I'm going to hold it back here because you can't, especially with the lighting, you can't tell the symbols and you're not going to be able to chart rah rah rah. So you can't see it, but the symbols are so similar in my eyes at the moment. I can't see what I have to stitch. This is my attempted solution. iPad Pros, amazing. They've got the split screen capability. This here is actually a screenshot of Easy PDF's highlight. I know so many people rave about how amazing Easy PDF is because it can go through and highlight what you need to stitch. It crashes every single time I've tried to use it. I have uninstalled, reinstalled, restarted I have done everything. It crashes whenever I use it and I can't save anything. What I had to do, the only way I could get it to highlight, and the only reason I was so insistent on this is because I had to pay for it, I broke the PDF down into chunks so they had 5 pages each. I went through, I highlighted the color, and I screenshot it. And then I cropped down so it was just the page. So this is a photo, which means I can't easily mark it off. I can't from this then go to the next color. So every highlight is only that color. I can't mark the next color. So even though this is helping, it's still not ideal. I'm getting confused. I've made a couple of mistakes, which is really unusual. Like, I know everyone makes mistakes, but I seem to have made a lot more than what's normal for me. I'm just frustrated, and I don't know if my eyes are bad and maybe I need to, do something else, or whether the symbols together are just really not great. But yeah, I'm finding that every stitch is taking a lot because I am having to like quadruple check every single stitch, and by the time I think I found it, I haven't, and it's doing my head in, if you can't tell. Elise found my glasses today. Reading glasses, not long distance. I wear contacts. I thought I'd maybe left them at work or they'd dropped out of my handbag because I couldn't find them. Turns out they were in a suitcase. So I don't travel. Not sure why they were in a suitcase. So I'm going to give them a go and see if that helps at all. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep plodding on because it's only got to get easier as they fill up, right? And also, I'm doing most colours to least. When am I going to fill in those 2 massive holes? It's just blank space and I want to work on it. What? Anyway, I'm going to let you go because I'm a bit loopy. It's been a long weekend and a bit of a crazy week. Can't really share what's happened. Once it's, I guess, finalized, I will be able to. But yeah, crazy week. My baby went off on camp for the first time. She then had a day to recover and she's now at dance camp, which is why I spent 7 hours there. I didn't have to, clearly, but I dropped her off at 12. I had a afternoon tea shift at like 3. Wasn't going to drive home for 2 hours. And then I had the dinner shift at 6. Again, wasn't going to drive home for 2 hours. And I would have been cross-stitching at home anyway. So I just hung out at the studio and cross-stitched there instead. But anyway, tomorrow is a public holiday here in Canberra. It is Canberra Day, and I am probably going to go to my friend Em's house, who is amazing. So I don't know how much stitching will get done and how much talking about stitching will get done, but I hope next week I'm working on colour 5, and I will see you guys then. Bye.